What's up, YouTubers? PokeJediTrek's here. Today I have a few confessions to make, starting with this confession I posted on my Facebook account on February 15th, 2025, 1 week after my 29th birthday. If you've read this post, you now know how miserable I've become, especially after all that I've been through when I'm not creating content on YouTube. In fact, the part of the confession where I reveal things I lost my judgment over for things when I encounter people I know in places where I'm not expecting to see them and if they know me. One notable time was on September 14th, 2012. I was eating out at the Golden Corral with my family before planning to go to a video game event at a local nonprofit when it all happened. Somebody who went to the same high school as me and his family were sitting next to me and my family, and while I recognized him, I began to hope he wouldn't recognize me. But then it turns out he got wise and started asking questions about the stress from the denial stressed me out to the point where I had to be sent home after dinner and my presence at the gaming event canceled. I was so upset I almost wanted to choke my mother out of anger. In fact, a year later, on September 13th, 2013, I went bowling with my mother during neon bowling time, and the DJ played 2 songs by artists I do not like. I'm in Miami Bitch by LMFAO and Voodoo by Godsmack. Both these back-to-back events changed my life forever. So much so they inspired the events depicted in the music video for my cover of the Metallica song, Ride the Lightning Until the First Bridge. The bottom line, I have feared the second Friday of September and Friday the 13th since the day is revealed. The parts where I reveal how I can't age and mature when I'm supposed to, or if I do, it happens at the cost of things I like or love, turning into things I dislike or hate. Here's what I mean. I had this habit of sucking my thumb and rubbing tags on clothes with my non-dominant hand when I should have grown out of the habit around the age of 3 or so. And it all started to dawn on me why I did it. I was stressed and upset all the time and hell-bent for a means of coping with the stresses of being a child. From learning subtraction in 1st grade to reading non-illustrated literature in 5th grade, my parents would constantly refuse to let me age at my own pace. And the part where if I age and mature when I'm supposed to, it'll happen at the cost of something I like or love becoming something I dislike or hate. That happened to me around 2nd grade in the latter half semester of my sophomore year of high school. If you saw the music video for my cover of the Korn song, Falling Away From Me, it depicts how much I dislike the series to the fullest, and one of my speculations on what might have happened. How much I dislike them? I stutter every time I try to say the name of the titular characters or anything related to them. Locations, characters, items, terms, etc. Or if I successfully say them or directly deal with it. The anxiety gets pretty severe pretty easily. It's actually one of my major autism barriers, an inability to directly deal with media I do not like. The first titular character's most notable iteration outside the literary source material is from Disney and will be celebrating 100 years in 13 months. I have not liked this series since I was 7 years old. The second titular character was a Nickelodeon cartoon character created by a marine biologist and first aired in May of 1999. I haven't liked this series since I was 16 years old. Initially, when it all started happening, I did not want to accept it, but eventually I found myself compromising and coming out with my dislikes. While I initially refused to believe this, but I have a major speculation that my parents' divorce and my coming of age, might have contributed to it. I liked the Earth sign character since my earliest memories, and around the time when my parents got divorced in 2003 was when the liking died out. Sometime after my brother's 6th birthday, but before starting in 3rd grade in 2004, was around the time when I started liking the Scrubber character. Then, when I started to come of age from boy to man 6 months before I started this YouTube channel, And when I got my first filmmaking lessons in 2011 was when the liking died out. That's what I mean by I can't age and mature when I'm supposed to, or if I do, it happens at the cost of something I like or love, turning into something I dislike or hate, and the liked or loved things end up being things not worth disliking or hating. Another speculation I have as to why I react with fight or flight responses towards these series might be because of how much they messed with my brain as I got older. I came to my senses. Another speculation might have been because of the old saying that it's better to burn out than it is to fade away. I was unwilling to compromise to getting burnt out, which led to the fading away. Whatever the case is, it feels like a close friend becoming an archenemy. When I try to make friends, I can't seem to want to maintain the friendships beyond where I meet and know them. While I understand the values of friendship, I have recently grown to be very picky about what kinds of friends I make and women I date. Back to the part where I mentioned when I encounter people I know in places where I'm not expecting to see them, and if they know me. During my childhood, I had this habit of reacting negatively around running into school teachers and classmates, and near the end of high school, I began to realize as a whole, I can't go losing my judgment every time I'm in a scenario I have little to no familiarities with. I've recently began to feel remorseful for every negative thing I've done to everybody, even as far back as toddlerhood, from reacting negatively to the presence of other people I know and recognize who are not related to me biologically or by marriage, to letting my sense of imagination overturn everything else during my childhood, to even accidentally setting my fire to my father's truck in October 2002. Despite claims that my brother, who was 4 years old at the time, did not tell me to do it, I heard him tell me to light a paper towel with a match, and I was too young to think of the consequences. I knew we needed to escape the danger, but I didn't know what to do once we were out. The fact that I did so on my own, despite claims that my brother told me to do so, means my senses probably were not fully developed enough to the point where I would hallucinate. I can remember being scolded by my teacher at the time, sometime after the incident. In the description below are 2 Facebook reels that are, without context, why I am the way I am. And there you have it. I have confessed to how much of a miserable outcast my autism has made me. Please continue to support my channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell icon for notifications. I hope I can still be active on YouTube because as of right now, it's the only thing I have that has given me a purpose to live.